Hello, welcome to jQuery tutorial, chapter 12, jQuery checked selector, brought to you by Ankpro Technologies. My name is Harish. In this session, we are going to learn about the jQuery checked selector. So, the checked selector, it selects all checked checkboxes or radio buttons. So the syntax present here you can observe very clearly. Okay, what it does is, to the jQuery function we are passing like select the input elements which are of type radio. Once you do that, what I'm trying to tell in my next piece of code is I'm calling the checked selector. So what does this checked selector does is it will select only the radio elements which are checked. Okay, that's the meaning of this syntax. So what it returns is it returns all the checked radio button elements. Similarly, if you want to select all the checked checkbox elements, this is the syntax. Okay, to the jQuery function you have to pass input and the type is checkbox, then colon checked. It's going to return all the checked checkbox elements. To understand them very clearly, let me jump into Visual Studio and let me show you a demo there. So just to save the time, what I've done is I've already taken few elements. Okay, this is the elements what I've copied right now. Let me come back here and let me paste it here. So I have a label called gender and I'm having two input elements of type radio and the values are male and female, and the submit, okay, input type submit, and I have one paragraph. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a demo of checked selector for the type radio. Okay, after this I'm going to show you a demo for checkbox also, how to select only the checked checkboxes. Here I'm going to show you a demo of how to select the checked radio elements. It's very simple. Let me do it. Script. First I'm going to verify whether my document is completely loaded or not. Document dot ready function. So after doing that, what I need to do is, before that, let me push this page to the browser and let me explain you like what is the whatever the jQuery code I write now, what it's going to do there. So it's been pushed to the Chrome. Okay, let's wait for that. Here I have a gender and male and female, the radio buttons, and submit. So whatever the jQuery code I'm going to write now is, once I click the button, it should tell me like whether I've selected the male or female. Suppose if I did not select any of the radio button, then if I click submit, it should tell me like radio button is not selected, buttons are not selected. So what is my objective right now is I need to get only the value of the radio button which is selected. Suppose if I select male and if I click submit, I should get only the value of that radio button what I selected. So how do I do that? It's very simple. First I need to verify whether my document is completely loaded or not. Once it is loaded, I need to identify this button. Okay, on the button click, it has to execute me a result or tell me a result such that you have selected this radio element. So first I need to identify the button. How can I identify this submit, type submit, with the help of this ID, that is submit btn. So I'm going to identify that element of type submit with the help of the ID. So the ID is submit dot. Okay, then I'm attaching a click function to it. Okay, once user clicks that submit, what should happen is, it's very simple. What I'll do is, first once user clicks on this submit, what it has to do is it has to identify the radio element. Okay, how it can identify is with the help of the input type. I'm going to identify the input type element which are of type radio. Okay, and after that I am passing checked. So in the sense, whatever the selector I'm passing here, what it does is it's going to identify this part. Let me explain you piece by piece. Okay, this part, what it does is it's going to select the input tags which are of type radio. So it's going to select both of them. Okay, and this part what it does is it's going to select only the input type radio element which is being checked. Suppose currently I've checked mail, so it's going to return only this part. Okay, so once you have selected the radio element which is checked, what you need to do is you need to push that message to this paragraph. Okay, you can see here. Okay, so how do I do that? Before that, let me store this entire result in a variable called result itself. Okay, and let me take if clause. So here I'm telling if result dot length is greater than 0, then what it has to do is it has to uh, tell like dollar, where it has to print the result. It has to print the result to, okay, this paragraph. So I'm identifying it with the help of id result para dot html method. So here I'll pass result dot value. Okay, here I'm going to pass telling like is is selected. So let me go with checked itself. It looks so meaningful. So checked. So if user did not select any of the, suppose if user did not select any of the radio button, then I have to display a message in the paragraph telling like okay, let me copy and paste this. Let me change the value there. That's it. So what I need to do is I need to tell like radio button not selected, not checked. Okay, now let me do Control S. Let me go back and let me refresh the page. Now when I click on the submit, we are getting the output as radio button not checked because we have not selected either of the radio buttons, either male or female. So we're getting the output. Now let me refresh. Now if I select male, okay, then I click submit, you can observe you're getting a message within the paragraph telling like mail is checked. So who is returning that? The element who is returning the radio element only which is checked. So here is the code for that. This is the checked selector which is doing that work. Okay, I hope you understood the check selector very easily. Okay, now let me go back to presentation. Now it's our time to learn like how do you select all the checked checkbox elements. It's very easy. So let me show you a demo of it. It's very simple. So first let me go back to my Visual Studio Visual Studio. So let me remove these things present here and also the jQuery. So let me go to my notepad where I've copied my HTML, and here comes your, so let me go back and let me paste it here. Okay, here comes my HTML. So it's fruits and the input type is checkbox. We have 4 values: apple, mango, grapes and orange, and we have a input type submit and the value is submit, and we have a paragraph as in the same example as in the last example. So now what I need to do is I need to select only the input type checkboxes which are checked. So what I need to do now, again I need to write, again I need to verify first whether my document, okay, before that let me push this page to the browser. Let me show you the output. Let me refresh it. So you can observe right now we are getting fruits: apple, mango, grapes and orange, and I click submit. Nothing is happening right now. So my objective right now is, suppose if I click apple and if I click submit, here I should get a message telling like apple is checked. Or if I click both apple and mango, I should get a message telling like apple and mango is checked. So how do I filter from the list of checked box only the checked checkbox elements? In the sense I'm having a 4 checkbox here, but when user clicks on the submit, I should get only the values which are checked. So how do I do that? With the help of checked selector. It's very simple. So first I need to verify whether my document is completely loaded or not with the help of document dot ready function. So once I do that, what I need to do here is first I need to identify this input type submit with the help of this. Okay, so we'll pass ID to it. So once user clicks on that submit type, I need to execute a function. What this function has to do is, let me tell you now. Okay, now I've done that. So it has to identify the input element with of the type checkbox. So how do I identify it? It's very simple. So I need to go input type equals checkbox. Okay, then it's colon checked. Fine. Input type, the selector, what I'm passing is I'm telling like select the input elements which are of type checkbox. So it's going to select all these things, but after that I'm telling like select only the input type checkbox elements which are checked. Right now here in my example I'm checked only two things, so it's going to select apple and mango. This sense it's going to return this thing. This selector, what it's going to return is it's going to return only these two things. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll store the entire result in a variable called result itself. Okay, and after that what I'm trying to do is I'm taking if clause telling like if the result dot length is greater than 0, then what it has to do is it has to, so this result what it's going to give us is going to give a collection of checkbox elements. Collection in the sense it's going to return more than one item, that is apple and mango. So what I need to do is I need to iterate them. So I'll create another variable and that is called result string. Okay, to that result string what I'm doing is I'm passing that result dot length. First I need to result, I'm just showing how many elements are selected. Okay, um, boxes checked, and let me apply a break line. Okay, and now okay, since it is a collection of checkbox items, so what I need to do is I need to iterate them. So I'll make use of each function which does that work very easily. Each, so I need to write a function to that each. What it has to do is, okay, it has to take that result string. Okay, I have to write it within that each function itself, result string. Okay, concat it attached to it. Okay, telling like dollar this dot get the value of that. Okay, then let me attach a break line. Since it's a collection of items, each item has to come in a separate line. It looks good, so I'm adding the break line there. Okay, and after that, where do I push the result? I need to push that result to this paragraph. So how do I identify that paragraph? With the help of this ID. So let me come here, let me call this paragraph. So then dot, I'm telling like HTML. Okay, pass that result string which is holding the result of checkbox items. Okay, that is apple and mango. As of now they are selected apple and mango. Okay, now if user did not select any of them, what it has to do is it has to just print a message to this paragraph telling like okay, no checkbox is checked. Okay, now I do Control S. Let me go back and let me refresh. Right now I'll click on the submit. We are getting the output as no checkbox is checked because we have not selected any checkbox right now. So we are getting, this part is getting executed. Suppose you can observe very clearly, if I refresh and if I select apple, mango and orange, then if I click submit, you can observe three checkboxes are checked. Okay, that is apple, mango and orange. So this, who is counting this? That piece of code, that result is coming from this part. Okay, we're counting the result dot length and storing result string and we are printing it. Okay, and after that, okay, we are getting the items which are the values of the items which are checked, that is apple, mango and orange. So where we are getting that is we are getting the output because of this. We are iterating the collection. Okay, each with the help of each function, and we're getting the output and we are printing it in the paragraph. Okay, this is how. Okay, how we, okay, the other thing you can observe clearly is we are getting the results only of the items which are checked because of this checked selector present here. Okay, and I hope you understood the checked selector and what it does. I showed you a demo of both the things like checked radio buttons as well as checked checkbox elements, how it is going to work with the help of this checked selector. Okay, I hope you understood. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel Ankpro Training. You can also like our Facebook page visiting this URL. You can also follow us on Twitter. For further reference, refer websites. We're on LinkedIn too. Last but not the least, please don't forget to give the feedback. Thank you. Have a great day.